They say the longest journey that you can ever take is from here to here. You can know something in your head and know it well, even have proofs for it and arguments for it. But to let it settle in here, we're at a very difficult time in our nation's history and in our church's history, because we're a part of what goes on about us. Fourth Avenue's always been wrapped into the lives of the people in our community, plus the people around the world that we've served and we continue to serve even in the midst of all of this. But that means that sometimes what we know here about the goodness of God and about his provision for us through the years and how he will take care of us and how he's called upon us to act and to be, sometimes doesn't make the journey. I can remember one particular moment when I could almost feel the journey take place, when it just went boom into the heart. I was at The Ohio State University teaching a special post-grad course on grief and death and dying in the patients of the people that were coming to the course. It's for medical professionals, for nursing home administrators. It's for people that were going to deal with the families that are going through a loss, that are anticipating a loss, or that have experienced one in recent times. I finished all of the standard grief things we do, the Kubler-Ross, the Kendall, all of those different ones. And when I asked for questions, one person in the back said, do people in developing nations, what we used to call the third world nations, do they experience grief in the same way that we do? And they, before I even answered the question, they brought up, they often will have the burial the same day, and that same day, the moms who have lost a child, let's say, or the husbands that have lost a wife are back in the field the same day working. And so do they go through the stages of grief, I was asked. Wow, what a very powerful question. And my answer is what caused it to drop. I knew it here, but as soon as I said it, I began to apply it to my own life. I said, yes, they grieve for their babies and for their wives and husbands and for their loved ones and their neighborhood. They grieve just as much as we do. They hurt every bit as much as we do. You could argue that they hurt more because the loss of a person is a loss of another worker to help feed the family and to take care of the neighborhood. But let's just say we all grieve at the same level of intensity and hurt. The difference, though, in my experience in developing countries, is that they didn't expect what we expected. We go to the doctor expecting that she's got a pill for us, or that he's got a little surgery for us. Everything will be fine. We wake up every day expecting there to be food, expecting there to be healthcare, expecting there to have shops open to where even if we don't need anything, we can be entertained by looking. We expect Amazon to have a drone drop off the package the same day. And whenever even Amazon stretches delivery times for Prime members out to 2 weeks, we are shocked, we are offended. I get that. I really do. I want to tell you why it is so hard for us to do what people in other places do rather quickly and efficiently. I'm going to ask you to have a look at this. And what do you see? Well, if you've gone through this program before and you've worked with me down through the years or something, you know what's coming. Almost everybody, whether they admit it or not, what they see is a dot. They don't see the white page around there. They don't see the non-dotted area. They see the dot. Why do they see the dot? Because there's so little dot on the page. It's the aberration. It is what is not normal. And this is our life. If you go into a developing country, this is more their life. Lot of dots. And I could add more to this and hold it up and you wouldn't be able to tell. They don't expect a dot-free life. The more blessed we are, the more susceptible we are to fear, to anger, and to a sense of entitlement and injustice that we are not being handed what we have always been handed. I have the right to go to the mall. I have the right to go see my doctor about a non-COVID-19 issue. I have the right to go visit with my neighbors or sit down in a restaurant with friends. Why do we think this? Because it's always been done for us. We have so many blessings. I can remember when I first came back to America in the late 80s. And remember, kids, we did not have cell phones. My wife sent me to a Kroger store in the little town outside of Columbus, Ohio, where we had settled. And she asked me to get soap. I'm on it. I went to the aisle and was stunned. There were so many soaps. There were so many kinds of soaps. Now, let me really hasten to add that Europe has caught up on all of this, but in the 80s, not yet. And I don't know, do we want that soap, this soap? I ended up buying about 6 or 7 different kinds because I had no idea what we needed and returning the ones that my wife sent me back with. But the thing is, I had been frozen by the everyday abundance that's in this country. We expect it. When the microwave does not heat up the burrito, we feel that the world is unjust. So I want you to please think about this as the president, and we'll see what our governor says down the road, but the federal guidelines right now say that they're going to hold us off of our gatherings all the way through April. Now again, whenever we do gather, that first Sunday, we're celebrating Easter together. But we'll celebrate Palm Sunday this week, and we'll celebrate Easter in our own ways at a distance, remembering that this hurts so bad because we have been blessed so much. For others, this is what they go through. For us, it is a storm above all storms. So here we are, isolated, completely cut off from the world except for Zoom, Snapchat, Marco Polo, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, and all the others. We have nothing to do except being able to work from home, read books, take walks when it's not raining too much, do a little bit of exercise in the house, get to know each other. That might be interesting. We have companies out there that are rallying like I've not seen or heard of in my lifetime. It's almost like World War II. Companies are saying, hey, we'll stop making stuff. We will make ventilators instead. You see parties in neighborhoods where they're at a distance parties, but they're making masks for healthcare workers. There's a whole lot of non-dot here. Neighbors are checking in on neighbors. I walked about yesterday and told my wife I had to keep changing sidewalks and sometimes walking the road because neighbors were walking around keeping 6 to 10 feet, but checking on each other. When was the last time you saw that? That's a lot of non-dot territory in our lives. Fast-tracking meds like I've never seen before. Citizens cooperating like I've never seen before. And even if you do get sick, and I pray God you don't, and even if you do get sick, most of you, it'll be very, very mild. What if you're the one it's not mild and it's really, really, really rough? You'll be sick in America, where we do have the best of all healthcare. And you might not like the delivery of it, and you might have had some really, really bad experiences with it, and boy, do I get that. And medical debt has destroyed a lot of people. I get that. Let's just get that. But you get care. They will see you. Things will be done. And if you don't like this, I got to tell you, other countries, it doesn't get any better. It gets dramatically worse, in my experience. Not been in all nations, I'll be fair. But if I'm going to be sick, I would rather be sick in America than anywhere else. It's a non-dotted part of the sheet that makes up my life. I would recommend that rather than weeping and focusing on the dot, that we just find ourselves, as we do, standing in the dot right now. Fair enough. But stand on the dot and look around at all the blessings we have and understand the reason why we miss hugs is because we were getting them. The reason why we miss our gatherings is because we always could. In fact, some of us didn't even show up at them because we knew they were there. They would always be there. So we'll go walking in the woods, or we'll go watch a Titans game, or we'll go do something else this Sunday because they'll always be there. And then they're not. It's because we've been so blessed that we get so anxious. Maybe we should be thanking God for the blessings we still have, rather than obsessing about the dot, which is just a temporary part of our lives. Have a great week, and God bless you all.